Hello, and welcome to Beard and Boarded. My name is Travis Tackett, and I'm here to talk to you about the books I read this week. The first book I want to talk about today is Star Wars 27 Yoda's Secret War, and as much as it pains me to say, this isn't one of my favorite stories in the Star Wars line. It starts off with Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing stuck in space, reading the diary of Obi-Wan Kenobi, reminiscing about the time when Yoda went on his own adventure where he got stuck on a planet and got beat up by a bunch of little kids. The story's not that great so far to me. The art looks great. I'd have to give this 2 Yoda beards out of 5. Next, we have Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 13. This book takes place on Xudar, 60 years in the future. Xudar is the planet of Tomar Ray, the Green Lantern behind me, and this book basically features a family that lives on that planet that's reminiscing about the last 2 books that happened. Not a lot happens in this book, but by the end of it, you can tell that the Xudarians really felt a lot of hope, and they really look up to the Green Lantern Corps. Story-wise, there wasn't much there, but the art was beautiful, and it showed a lot of big splash images of battles and stuff that looked great, too. I'd probably have to give this 3 John Stewarts, the only Green Lantern with a beard or facial hair, out of 5. The book I read after that was Infamous Iron Man number 4. This book is probably one of my favorites because it's Dr. Doom taking over for Tony Stark as the new Iron Man since the events of Civil War II. Now, Dr. Doom basically is a bad guy, so he doesn't care what's going on. He's regulating everyone all day. First thing he does in the book is fly up to a SHIELD helicarrier and regulates Maria Hill. Then he's like, alright, I'm going to Latveria, the country I run, no big deal. And he regulates all the people that's fucking his country up. Then he's like, who's there over in my castle over there? And they're like, we don't know. And he's like, well, I'm going to go regulate them next. That's basically all I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, this book is one of my favorites out of the books I'm reading in Marvel. And I'm going to have to give this 5 out of 5 Ben Grimm beards. The next book I want to talk about today is The Flash number 15 Rogues Reloaded. This book really showcases how the Rogues know how to manipulate the Flash. They basically have him running all the way around the world to stop them from robbing a museum when really it's just one of the Rogues setting up a diversion while the rest of them mess up his city. Now, this really showcases how the Rogues know the Flash inside and out and how they're basically the best villains to go up against the Flash. I really like this book. The story looks like it's about to be great, and I'd really like the art. I'm going to have to give this one 4 out of 5 Grant Gustins with facial hair. After that, we have Hulk number 2 with Jennifer Walters, the She-Hulk, basically grieving and trying to get back to normalcy since the events of Civil War II and the death of her cousin, Bruce Banner. She goes back to becoming a lawyer, and she picks up a client who's an Inhuman and being discriminated against by her landlord and trying to be kicked out. That's basically all I want to say. The art is really nice. The story seems like it could be going in a good direction. She never goes full Hulk, but I really like this book, and I like the way they're portraying Jennifer Walters. I'd probably give this one 4 out of 5 Maestro Hulks. Next, we have Detective Comics number 949, Batwoman Begins, the finale, where Kathy Kane, Batwoman, has to come up against one of her former colleagues who worked for her father in the colony. He's basically a soldier who trained with her back when she was training and following Batman around. She basically mops the floor with this guy. He thinks he's going to come in there and show her what's up, but she basically does the same to him. So the art is really great in this book, and the storyline is really good. It really progresses Batwoman in a really cool way. She even says that the difference between her and Batman is she wants to stop war. He wants to stop crime, which I don't know what that means, but it sounded badass. So I really like the Detective Comics line right now, and I'd probably give this one 5 out of 5 bearded Batmen. Next after that, we got Daredevil number 16, where Daredevil manipulates Bullseye into coming after him just so he can get in close, so he can get to this serum that Bullseye has access to give to his sidekick who has lost his sight. The serum is supposed to give the user the abilities that Daredevil has, I guess. So Basically, Daredevil feels responsible and he's trying to take care of his sidekick. This book is really good. I'm excited to see where it goes because his sidekick Blind Spot is a really cool character, and the art in this book is badass. I love the red and black that they are doing with Daredevil nowadays. But yeah, I would probably give this 5 out of 5 Matt Murdock's with a beard. Next, we have the Kamandi Challenge #1. This book looks really cool. It's based on a character that Jack Kirby created a long time ago, and it's an old school character. It's Kamandi, the last boy on Earth, and it's a crazy book. I have never read any of the old ones, but this is the Kamandi Challenge, where DC puts a writer and artist up to write a story, and then by the end of the book, it has to have Kamandi in a situation that would be hard to get out of, and the next writer and artist on the book has to try and come up with a way to get him out of that situation, and so on and so forth. I'm really excited to see where this goes. The art is beautiful. It reminds you of old school comics, and then the storyline is about to be really fun, I think, because it's going to be so random and created by different people. I'd really like this book, and I'd want to give it 5 out of 5 beards because this challenge looks fun. Next after that, I'd like to talk about Civil War II, The Oath. Yeah, I know, I can't believe it. Civil War II's finally over, and they're still naming stuff Civil War II, this and that. But this actually turned out to be pretty good. So in the beginning, Steve Rogers here, he becomes the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. After that, he decides he's going to go down and talk to Tony Stark about how, guess what? I'm running stuff now, and S.H.I.E.L.D's about to take over. I'm really liking this. It really makes me wish I was reading the Steve Rogers Captain America book. I like how right now Marvel is kind of flipping things. Doctor Doom is being a good guy, and Steve Rogers Captain America is being a bad guy. It's pretty interesting, and I'm really excited to see where the story goes. The art looked really good, and I think that this story is going to be really good. So I'd like to give this one 4 out of 5 bearded Chris Evans Captain Americas. And last but not least, we have Saga number 42 with Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples' epic space opera with our lead characters Marco, Alana, and Hazel. Basically, they are on a asteroid that's running into a time suck, which is, as far as I know, is basically like a black hole or something. They have to escape this asteroid so they can live, but they have friends and family on this asteroid that they're having a hard time leaving. By the end of it, it seems as though our heroes are going to be okay, but they might have taken some loss. The end of this book is probably one of the saddest endings to any comics I've read in a long time. If you're interested in outer space and really cool character development and really badass art, I definitely recommend you pick this book up, and I'm going to give this one 5 out of 5 bearded Marcos, and I can't wait for it to come back off a hiatus. Thanks for joining me with Beard and Boarded. That's the end of my show. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Beard and Boarded.